lovelies.
Hey, hotties.
Welcome to Making It Hot. Today, Tony and I are just going to have a little candid discussion around judgment. Uh, for me, yes, we're pointing our
No
fingers.
pointing
We're
fingers.
judging. No.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the reason the topic came up is that a few months ago, I caught myself in just in a state of extreme judgment towards Tony around around like it had to do with work and picking up overtime. At first I thought he, I was telling myself stories about it. He picked up some overtime, a lot of overtime, and I kind of took it personally, especially when he had picked up some overtime on Christmas. And I really had some judgment around that. And the funny thing is when I dug deeper, I did see that it was something I wasn't in approval for myself. Do you remember that time? Do you
I
want to talk
do.
about?
I do. I remember just sitting back going, okay, it's okay for Sue to be doing overtime, but I'm not okay doing overtime.
Right.
So, but I just kind of held back and just let things play out because my higher power has a greater plan, sort of thing, and it did work out beautifully. So, yeah.
And we did it. For me, it was a big learning experience for me, in that my judging his working overtime was that I was trying to navigate working out time for myself and for us in a time where we had spent a good several years taking care of other people, and all of a sudden we have found ourselves, because of life circumstances,
Now it's back onto our
right,
relationship.
right, a lot of attention is going on to our relationship. And where as in prior to that, there was a lot of other distractions. So it when it boils down to just the both of us, it's pointing our fingers at each other really kind of puts spots
the
the
old
attention
saying,
back
like
onto
the
us.
three fingers, you're pointing, judging at someone, and the three fingers are pointing
Right.
back at you.
Yeah, exactly. And the point for me is that there was a moment where I was not in approval of how I was allotting my time. And I did want to pick up overtime myself, but I was in judgment of it because I was taking time away from me, and I was taking a time away from him. And then when he decided to take that overtime, I just something felt off, and I had to go internally to see where I wasn't in approval for myself. And this has taken a lot of work to get to this place where I can turn it back to myself.
Right. And it's just all noticing.
Right.
It's all noticing steps. And I go into my little dysfunctions, or not little, they can be quite big. And like, I'll be in judgment and absolutely upset with whatever's going on, and I'll just spiral out of control. And Sue will go, I'm not going to be a party to this. When you're out of your little dysfunctional phase, I'll come back. And she just sort of rolls over and totally ignores me. I have my little sulk and whatever, and get my temperamental mood. And then the next day, although it's happening way quicker now, it's not so much the next day that I go, I was such an ass,
Right.
as Americans like to say. And I will just go, okay, this is where it's coming from, and this is where the original story behind that situation. It's, it'll either be triggered by my abandonment issues, or I'd be triggered by some sort of jealousy, or some story of someone that had hurt me in the past that I was carrying over
Right.
into our
So
relationship.
the judgment is activated by a memory
Right.
that's been held, and we
Right.
haven't resolved it in the past. So we're learning, and both of us, as Tony just mentioned, that we're catching ourselves faster, and it's like we're in this phenomenal place where like it's almost like our relationship is an experiment, right?
Certainly is.
Yeah. And what's beautiful about it is that we both want to be better people, and we both want to really awaken to ourselves to becoming, rising above of our dysfunctions and conditioning. And we've come
And
from some.
judgments. It's
Yep.
just like,
And
we're like that. It's like, oh, okay, this just
Mhm.
okay. Let's just put them back in the pocket and
right.
see where it's coming on for us, or for ourselves, and
How it
ask
affects.
ourselves the question. Okay, I'm having a reaction here. What do I really desire?
Right.
What do I really want? What
Mhm.
is that little thing that's gnawing at my heart and
Mhm.
being etched in the back of my mind that I really desire? And then it's
Mhm.
just like, oh, I just want that exact same thing for
Right.
me.
And I'm learning to not go on that ride and try to save him from himself. It's
Right.
like, you know what?
Oh, yeah.
You have at it. You work your way through this, and I'm just going to I'm here. I love you, but I'm not engaging and going on this ride and getting caught up in this.
Absolutely.
This
And
dysfunctional.
I'll be in the same sort of boat where
Mhm.
she's in meltdown and she's in tears and she's,
Mm.
yeah, and it's like, I'm not going to do the knight in
Right.
shining armor trick for you. You know
And-
the answer, you know
Right.
what you need to do,
Right.
and you're the only one sitting in the prison cell with the key in your hand to let yourself out.
Exactly.
And it's just like, again, the whole old stories, and like, we are the hardest judges on ourselves because we're expecting so much, and that'll be another video coming soon on expectations. But yeah, it's just taking that step back and just constantly communicating.
Right.
Just keep communicating.
Right.
Communication is
Right.
key
Exactly.
in everything.
And without pointing the finger at the other person.
Don't get judgmental.
I mean, it could start that way, but you know what? We got to lift the veil and look a little bit
You know what?
deeper than that.
I'm sorry to cut you off there, Sue, because I just had a flashback to the very first time I spent time with you in Philadelphia, when you were living in Philadelphia and I was living in San Francisco at the time. And I just came in and it was just like this whole vulnerable thing that Sue had shared and I had shared as well, in certain deep dark secrets that we had, and we never pointed the finger at each other in any arguments. We never brought that up.
Right.
We never judged each other for our past mistakes. And I was like,
where it could have been easy. It could have been like, I have ammunition here that
right.
I know what really
Every
hurts
past
you,
relationship I ever had, I thought it was really refreshing when I first met you. It was just like, and you still do it to this day. It's just like, I'm not going to be a part of this.
Right.
And you don't throw my past mistakes or your past mistakes. We don't throw them at each other as barbs to really hurt each other. And it's just like, if you're going to go there, but if you're going to go there, it's going to be just the end of your relationship.
Right.
It's all about ego and retribution and who can hurt each other the most. You go on this really big dysfunctional spiral.
Right.
So keep your judgments in check. Keep talking to each other and be vulnerable.
Right, exactly. So the next time you find yourself judging the other person or situations, that's a good indicator of kind of turning the finger back towards yourself or myself, and
understand your desire, what it really is that you want,
and what you're not in approval of.
Right.
Anyway,
I'm think we've done a pretty good job there.
Okay. All right. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. Catch you in the next video.
All right.
Bye for now.
Bye, guys.
Love you, Heidi's.